Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. For today's video I'm testing out a brand new foundation that's just been released, and this is a DIOR Backstage Face and Body Foundation, and I'm so excited to test this foundation out. I've seen it all over the internet, all over YouTube, all over Instagram, and it has so many claims on it as well, so I haven't seen any reviews on it because I wanted it to be a complete first impression for me and see if it works for my skin. So you can actually purchase this from pretty much everywhere that does premium beauty. They do have 40 shades in the collection, which is incredible. Also they do have ones for very different undertones, so they have ones for neutral, warm, peach, rosy, and also olive undertones, which is absolutely amazing. So the shade that they colour match me to is 2W0, which is too warm olive, and I did get a colour match in Debenhams, and they did put two shades on me and we weren't too sure which one would be the best one, so we went outside in the daylight and we saw them, and this one was the best match for me. So when they did colour match me, I did have a darker self-tan on, and at the moment I do have a light self-tan, so hopefully we're going to be able to make it work. Hopefully it's going to match me, or we'll be able to make it work. So I am very hopeful for this foundation. So if you're new to my channel and you enjoy this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, and also make sure to hit the bell icon just so you're notified every time I upload a new video. So this foundation is actually available in 40 shades, which is absolutely crazy. They go from 0 neutral all the way down to 9N, so they look like that they go from pretty light to pretty dark, which is really good. They do loads of the ones in between as well. Like I said, they do loads of different undertones as well, so I believe that pretty much everyone will be able to find a shade that matches them. So this does have a lot of claims, which is something that made me really want to try it out. This is the new line by DIOR called DIOR Backstage, and it's supposed to be ones that they use on catwalks professionally and things like that. So this foundation says that it's professional performance, waterproof and sweat resistant, custom build foundation, natural glow finish. So the only thing that's sort of worrying me is that it says that it has a natural glow to it, because I do have very oily skin. However, it does say that it's waterproof and sweat resistant, so hopefully this is going to hold up on my oils. When I was in Selfridges and I did try and colour match me, but the colour matched me to something that was completely wrong. She did actually mention that this is really good for oily skin and it stays on all day as well, so hopefully it's going to do exactly what they said. So on the box it does say that you have 3 ways to wear it. It says light nude coverage, medium coverage and full perfection coverage, and it tells you how to get each of those stages. I'm going to try and do full perfection coverage because I do like full coverage foundations, because I do have a lot of redness on my skin. My skin isn't even, and it just doesn't look very good if I have a light coverage foundation. Now I don't mind having BB creams or light coverage when I'm at work, but when I'm going out and it's a weekend, I sort of want to have something that covers up a little bit more, because like I said, I do have quite a lot of redness, I do have quite a lot of blemishes as well, and my skin tone is very uneven. So on the website it says the DIOR Backstage Face and Body Foundation is DIOR makeup artist's secret weapon to create an instantly flawless complexion with ultra buildable coverage from natural nude glow to high coverage perfection. And the makeup finish, it says the DIOR Backstage Face and Body Foundation is tested and approved by 100% of DIOR professional makeup artists. With its fluid texture and second skin finish, its ultra buildable foundation offers custom made intensity. And for the formula, it says it's enriched with beauty enhancing pigments. The formula fuses with skin that glows for a perfect natural complexion in real life and through the camera's lenses. The waterproof formula of the DIOR Backstage Face and Body Foundation creates an invisible mesh on the skin and resists extreme conditions, workout sessions, water, extreme temperatures and humid environments. It even resists the bright lights both backstage and above the catwalk. So this promises that it's going to be staying on the skin throughout pretty much everything. So even if you have water or rain on the skin, if you go for a workout, if it's really hot and humid outside, it says that it's going to stay on. And at the moment we're in the middle of summer, but it's not too hot at the moment over here in England, so I'm hoping it's going to do really good. Also it's got loads of promises, so I do have very high hopes for this foundation. So like I said, I haven't seen any reviews on this foundation, so it's going to be a complete first impression, and we're going to see how it holds up on my oily skin. So I've just taken it out of the packaging, and this is what the bottle looks like. I think it looks really good. I do like the fact that it's plastic, because if I have a glass container like with my MAC Pro Longwear concealer, I have a feeling that if it drops on the floor it's going to smash everywhere. So this being plastic is actually really good for me, and it's just really nice and really simple. And then you get this CD on the top. The colour looks a little bit too dark for my neck, but we will see how it goes. Like I said, when I was colour matched to this, it was when I had a darker self-tan on, and I'm just hopeful that it's going to work. I think it looks really good and I'm so excited. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on my skin, I'm going to apply this, and we will see how it goes. So we're all zoomed in so you can see what my skin looks like. Like I said, I do have a lot of redness, I do have a lot of uneven skin tone, I do have some blemishes as well, and when I do foundations I always make sure that they match my neck instead of my face, because I do self-tan my body, but I can't self-tan my face because I do have very, very sensitive skin, and it does say that it's suitable for all skin types as well. So I'm hoping it's going to do good on my sensitive skin, also on my redness, also on my oils, and we'll see how it goes. So before I apply this foundation, I have put on my primer, which is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Mattifying Primer. This is a primer that I use for all of my foundations because I do have super oily skin. So with this foundation, it does say that there's 3 ways to wear it. It says you can do light nude coverage, which is use your fingers to gently dab 1 layer of foundation and massage onto the face. Medium coverage is apply 2 layers with a flat brush from the centre of the face outwards, and full perfection coverage is use a round brush and apply up to 3 layers of foundation in circular motions. So I'm one of those people where I can't really get to grips with using brushes with my foundations. It usually just looks really streaky and horrible, so I usually go in with my beauty blender, and that always makes everything look perfect. And there are a couple of things on the side of the box as well. It says tested and approved by 100% of your makeup artists, ultra buildable coverage, second skin finish, loved by all women, extreme condition proof, 91% of women agree, and photo ready finish, 95% of women agree as well. It doesn't have a pump as well, it's just one of those foundations. Oh, it's actually gone everywhere, but I think that's probably because I just put it upside down, so it looks like it's exploded a little bit. This actually seems to remind me of the MAC Face and Body foundation that they do. What I'm going to do is just pop some on my hand. I'm literally not too sure how much that you put on. It just says put a couple of drops on your skin. So this is what the foundation looks like. It looks like it's going to be pretty good because it is lighter than my hand, and usually my hand and my arms are the ones that go darkest when I first self-tan. So hopefully it's going to be a really good match. I'm not too sure how much to put on because it just says dab 1 layer over your face. I'm not too sure how much 1 layer is going to be, but we're going to go ahead and see how it goes. So what I'm going to do is just take some of this foundation and I'm just going to dab it on the skin. So it does say that 1 layer is for light coverage. It doesn't seem too watery, to be honest. I thought that it'd be a lot more thinner than this and a lot more watery. So I'm just going to pop this on. So what I'm going to do is use my beauty blender. This is what I use for all my foundations. I know that it does recommend to use a brush, but for this side of my face, I'm going to use a beauty blender and see how the coverage looks and how the finish looks as well. So the colour actually doesn't look too bad. I thought it'd be really, really bad. Really dark, but it doesn't look too bad actually. So I'm quite happy with how it looks so far. So this is what 1 layer of the foundation looks like, and I actually do really like it. This is supposed to be 1 layer which is a light coverage, and to me this is a light medium coverage. Now I do still have a lot of my redness peeking through, which I'm not really too shocked about because like I said, this is just a light coverage for the first layer. But it does look pretty good. I think it does look a little bit patchy. It hasn't covered up all of my blemishes or anything like that. I think this is one of those foundations that you're going to have to use if you do have very, very nice skin. So you can use 1 layer for it if you don't have any blemishes or any redness and you pretty much have perfect skin. So I do like the way that it looks. It's covered up a lot of redness just by 1 layer, which I'm really happy about. So what I'm going to do is use a brush on the other side. We're going to do 1 layer again and we'll see what it looks like, if it adds extra coverage or if it looks pretty much the same or if it doesn't look as good. So the main brush that I've been using lately is my Real Techniques brush. This seems to be a pretty good brush. It's supposed to be a dupe of the Artiste one. So we'll see how this goes. It does say that you use a round top brush, and this is pretty much the only round top brush that I have. So I'm just going to put this in and see if it gives extra coverage or if it looks the same. This is what it looks like on both sides. So this side was with the brush and this side was with the beauty blender. That doesn't look like there's a lot of difference. Now I do notice that with the beauty blender there is a little bit more coverage on it. It does look a little bit more even, and with the brush it just doesn't look as even on here, but it was very easy to just swipe the brush around and it was easy to do. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using my beauty blender for the rest of my face. We're going to see how this foundation builds up, see if we can do 2 layers and then 3 layers and see what it looks like. So I'm hopeful it's going to work. I'm hoping that it's going to cover up my redness on my chin, also my blemishes, but we're going to go ahead and see how it goes. So this is what 2 layers of the foundation looks like, and I do actually like it. It looks like it's almost full coverage. There's just a little bit of my redness peeking through, so on my chin I still have a little bit of redness. Also on my cheeks I have a little bit of redness, and on the sides of my nose I do as well. But to be honest, this looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do a 3rd layer, then I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like. So this is what the foundation looks like on my skin after 3 layers, and honestly in this camera the colour looks so bad, like it doesn't even look like it matches with my skin, and in person it's almost perfect. So I don't really know what's going on with this lighting, but it's just not really working. It just looks like that I have a mask on my face, and in person it really doesn't look like that I have a mask. So this is what 3 layers looks like, and honestly my skin looks perfect. It looks so good. It doesn't look cakey or anything like that. Now in certain areas you can tell that you're wearing makeup, which is something that I'm not really too happy with. I do like foundations, especially in some other ones that look like that it's your own skin but better. Also a glowy foundation I do like. This isn't a matte finish, but it does dry extremely quickly. I did notice that between each of the layers that I was doing it was pretty much dry anyway, which is weird, but it did blend out really good. Also it did layer up really good as well. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like. So I've just finished off my makeup and this is what it looks like, and I really do like the way the foundation looks. My skin looks really nice and flawless. It doesn't look cakey, and I was a little bit worried after I did the foundation that the rest of my products would go on a little bit cakey or take off some of the foundation, because when I was applying the layers it did dry very, very quickly. But it's the opposite of that. Honestly, everything just glided on amazingly, very, very easily. It looks so smooth, so flawless, and it just looks really, really good. It's covered up all of my redness, all of my blemishes, and it just literally looks flawless. Now with 3 layers it doesn't look like a second skin finish. It does look like you're wearing foundation. You can tell that you're wearing foundation, and the only thing I do have to say about the foundation is the colour looks very, very off when I'm filming in these lights. It looks very different. It looks a lot lighter and a different skin tone to my neck, but in person, because I was doing the rest of my makeup by my window, so in daylight it looks exactly the same, which is really weird. I'm going to see if I can get a photo and put it in this video for you so you can see what it actually looks like in daylight. It matches my neck, but in these lights it looks very, very different, which I'm really confused about. But overall, so far, I'm really, really liking this foundation. And what I'm going to do is wear it for the rest of the day and then come back and let you know how it goes. So at the moment, it's 11:40 in the morning, and I'm going to come back in a few hours and let you know how the foundation goes. So I'm back and it's now just after 7 o'clock in the evening. So I've had this foundation on now for 7.5 hours. And I feel like now is a really good time for me to give you my final first impression, because now that I've had it on for quite a long time, I can tell you how I feel about it, and I think I probably know how it's going to go throughout the rest of the day if I keep it on for longer. So looking at my skin, it looks actually really, really good. It's done really well. I am shocked that it's done this well, because I thought it would come off after probably about 3 or 4 hours, like when I had the Estee Lauder Nude Water Foundation. That was horrible. It came off within about 2 hours and it didn't last, and it was supposed to be 24-hour wear, so it wasn't very good. This one, it didn't have a length of time that it said that it was going to be on the skin. It did say it was waterproof, sweat proof and sweat resistant, and I have actually had my hand on my cheek right here for a lot of the time today because I was quite tired, so I had my hand on here, and it has come off a bit on the bottom of my face. Also, actually this side seems to be pretty good. So the side where I haven't really touched it seems to be really, really good, but this side it tends to have come off quite a lot all around here, and it looks like really weird marks. It looks sort of like a greenish tint, which is a little bit strange, but I do like the way that it looks on my skin. Now I do have a little bit coming off on the top of my head. You can see some of my redness peeking through, but if I was going out again, all I'd do is just get hold of the foundation, put a little bit more on, and it should be really good because it does build up very well. So I do like the foundation. Is it my favourite foundation? No, it's not. I do actually prefer 2 other foundations. I prefer my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. That gives me a really nice glow to the skin. Also, it stays put all day and it's really, really good on the oils. And then my Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation is my holy grail. That one, literally you put it on first thing in the morning, you can keep it on until 11 o'clock at night and it looks perfect. Now this foundation, I do feel like it's going to last quite a long time. Like I said, I do have some areas that have come off, so on the top of my head, also on my chin and a little bit around here, but like I said, I did have my hand on here most of the day anyway. So I do really like it. I think it looks really good on the skin. When I first applied it, I really liked the way it looks, but I was a little bit worried that it might start looking cakey if you build up the layers, and also with how my products went on there. But it went on really well. The rest of my my products went on really well as well. It does build up really good, and I do like the look that you get with it. The only thing I do have to say is it's very, very strange with the colour compared to my neck, because like I said before, when I was on camera the colour looks very, very different to my neck, and then in person it looked perfect. It just literally looked like a mask while I was wearing it on camera, and I wasn't really too happy about that. But to be honest, in daylight, in natural light, it looked absolutely beautiful. So I really do like it, and I like the fact that you can build it up as well, so you can have a light coverage, medium coverage or a full coverage, and I feel like it'd last quite a long time if you had humid weather. Now we are in the middle of summer over here in the UK, but it isn't actually really hot and it's not really humid today, but it did hold up very well, so I'm very impressed with it. So I didn't mention earlier how much of the product that you actually get, and you get 50 millilitres or 1.6 fluid ounces, which is way more than a standard foundation, so it's almost twice the amount of what you would usually get, and for the price I think it is really good. The only thing I do have to say, the only negative that I have of this is you do have to be careful with how much that you're using, because it is one of those foundations where you can build it up. If you do a light layer it does look very light, but then you do have to build up 2 or 3 layers for it to actually look like it's full coverage. You do have to be aware of how much you're using of this, because when I was using it I actually used quite a lot on my hand. I think I used probably about 2 pea-sized amounts just to do the first layer, then I did even more for the second layer, then even more for the third layer. But if you are one of those people that wants a light or medium coverage, you will get a lot more uses out of this. But I think it's really good that they added 50 millilitres in here, because you do get quite a lot compared to a standard one, so I think that is a good thing, because then you feel like it's not as bad with using a little bit more of the foundation. So overall I do really like this foundation. I feel like I've wanted to test it out a couple more times with different brushes and different techniques, just to see the best way to build this up and the best way that it can look on the skin as well. But I love the way that this looks on the skin. I think it looks so nice and flawless. It's lasted really well for 7.5 hours, and I'm really impressed with this, because I didn't actually think that it was going to last this long on the skin. I thought it was just going to last a couple of hours, then come off all patchy down the sides of my face, which is what a lot of my foundations tend to do, which I honestly do not know why. But overall I really do like this foundation. I love the fact they have 40 different shades in loads of different undertones, and I definitely recommend you guys going out and picking this up, because I do have oily skin and my skin does not look oily at all. It doesn't look matte, but it looks like it has a really nice healthy glow, and the rest of my products went on very, very easily. So if you are worried about how this is going to build up with other products, don't be worried, because it is really good and it works out really well as well. So this is my first impression of the DIOR Backstage Face and Body Foundation, and I really like it and I give it a very big thumbs up. And like I said, I will be testing it out a little bit more with different brushes just to see if it can look any better on the skin. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and make sure that you give it a very big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye!